Hello, stranger. It's been a minute since we last kicked it. And by the way, just got in town.
Welcome back to my channel. My name is Amber and this is Amber Next Door. Before we get started into today's video, be sure to hit the subscribe button and become a lifelong neighbor of the Amber Next Door neighborhood. I would love to have you guys here forever and ever. Like this video all the way up so that other people of the other YouTube communities can become part of the Amber Next Door neighborhood and we can become part of theirs. Share with your family and friends, comment down below respectfully of course, and hit the notification bell so you know when Amber Next Door is coming to your door. So without further ado, let's jump right into today's video. Welcome back you guys to another week here at Amber Next Door. Thank you so much for stopping by. As mentioned before, if you are brand new, definitely consider subscribing and sticking around for the long haul. I already love having you here. I'm sure the other neighbors love having you here as well. And yeah, just watch the video, watch a couple videos, catch the vibe, and see if you want to be a neighbor, which I'm sure you do. You clicked on the video already. It's free. And if you are already a neighbor for, I don't care if you're here for a day or weeks or months or years, thank you so much. It means so much to me. Today I'm going to be shedding light on the topic of navigating adult friendships. This is a season that I'm in right now, and it's been a minute since I sat down and spoke to you guys in real time about how I'm feeling and things you probably could relate to with me. And videos like these, aside from the weekend vlogs, which I'm loving, but like videos like these remind me of how I started my YouTube channel, why I started my YouTube channel. Like, this is my baby, this is my journal, and I'm letting you guys interact with the girl next door because I'm just the girl next door. That's all I am. So yeah, I'm in my 30s now. I can say that I'm 31. I'm in my 30s now, and I just feel like, I mean, people tell you before you turn 30, or they'll tell you in your 30s, you know, that's your 20s with more money, more insight, things you don't put up with a lot of things that you're used to anymore. And it's true. Things are shifting, things are changing, and our lives are just expanding in different ways, and your perspectives are just different. So with that, your friendships, your relationships around you are going to change, and right now that's literally the season that I'm in, navigating friendships and where do I go from here type of thing, you know what I mean? So we're going to talk about that today. I'm just nervous because I haven't done this in so long. Like, I haven't like talked in front of the camera like in sit down fashion, like in uniform. So yeah, let's just get into it. So let me give you a little background. Like, growing up, most of my friendships came from church. My closest friends were my church friends because that's who I saw the most, because I was at church the most. And of course I have friends at school, you know, I would label it as, okay, my church friends, my school friends. But as time went on, because I'm in church the most, I considered my best friends to be at church. And I just remember, like, I've never ever had large groups of friends. That's just not me. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, I always knew when I would get married, it's like, okay, I probably won't have that long string of bridesmaids. I'm gonna have my core friends, yeah, but never had big groups of friends. So I feel like because of that, I made those friendships that I had, they meant so much more to me because I'm pouring in. I have more of myself to give to those relationships, if that makes sense. So yeah, I just considered the friends who I hung with at church and maybe a couple friends at school. That was my core group. Every single birthday, if I did a sleepover, if I had, like, I don't even want to talk about my sweet 16. If you want to even call it a sweet 16, I'm so glad that part of my life is over. But like, parties, sleepovers, outings, very small intimate settings, like very small intimate groups of friends. But looking back, it's like, okay, that just means these are the people who rock with me, these are the people who love me and care for me. And I just remember, like, my childhood best friend, there was a moment where, like, I think was it her sister? It was someone else had asked her in front of me, like, okay, who's I don't know how we got on the topic. They were like, oh, who's your best friend? I think I was asked first and I was like, oh, so-and-so, like, she's my best friend. And then they asked my best friend at the time, who's your best friend? She said someone else. Oh my God, my heart was broken in a million pieces. But I've always been this way. Like, not realizing like people are allowed to have more than one best friend. People are allowed to have different relationships with people in different ways. But it just broke my heart, and I just always had those cycles of friendships where it's like I felt like, you know, I was more of a friend to them than they were to me, or I consider them, I value them more than they value me. If that, yes, that's what I'm trying to say. I value them more than they value me, and that would hurt and suck sometimes. But I had to, it took me till now to learn, like, I gotta shift my way of thinking sometimes. Like, first of all, people don't belong to us. We are allowed to experience them, and for however amount of time that is a blessing, because you learn. Relationships and friendships are what shape you. They are what mold you, on top of other things. But the people who you have around you, you know, you reflect, parts of you reflect on them, and they reflect on you. So you gotta, that's another thing, you have to really watch who you call your friend. But yeah, that was just, that's like from childhood to adulthood. A shift happened when I went to college. Like, some of my childhood friends that I consider best friends, they were shaved off. And I'm sorry if the lighting is, I'm shooting in the daytime, so sorry about that. But one of the shifts happened, and when I was going up for college, I had to let go of some friends because some friends couldn't handle the fact that, okay, I'm going away and I'm gonna meet other people there, and my obligations are changing, so I probably won't visit as much. I probably won't be able to make time as much because here I am in a different state, and I had these new responsibilities where I had to give more of my attention and time to. So during that shift, that was painful, but I also saw who was still around me. I also saw who was still my friend. I could pick back up with them. If it had been months, I could still call them. I could still share them some funny stories that happened to me. They would come visit. I would come visit them when I had the time. And in college, you gotta make time for your family too, because sometimes you're moving away from your family and coming back home. Now my time is split for real, like, so I'm not there every day. I gotta make time for family. I gotta make time for my friends, and that was a big shift for me as well. And then throughout college and a little bit after college is when my larger group of friends like expanded, but not realizing now, like, okay, those were associates. Like, those are people who, yeah, we were close in experiences and things like that, but those were associates. If they had to have my back in certain situations, there are probably a few of them I could probably trust, and the rest of them I'm like, okay, they're just cool, like, from Howard or whatever. But in my mind, again, because I'm thinking, okay, we're doing all these outings, we're doing these trips together, like, we're a family. Like, I always want, like, when I meet people and we click and we vibe off, man, I just want to be everything to them. Like, okay, you're my family now, and I gotta just, and that, you have to be careful with that. If you have that kind of spirit, if you wear your heart on your sleeve, you have to do more work to protect your heart than anything else, because that means your heart can easily be broken, and then you go through these, the stages of grief, and that's not fun. So after I realized, like, that shift, like, my college friends, and some of them went away, and some of them I had to, like, let go of ties with. Here I am now, like, late 20s, and now my 30s, where it's like, okay, and my mind is starting to change, like, okay, these are the people who, this is my village. These are the people that are either going to be my wedding, they're for somehow, they helped me get this job opportunity, and like, they helped me get through a breakup, they've been here, some of them, okay, they've been here since childhood. Like, I don't want to let go of these people, but because we're adults now, the friendship has to be taken care of in a different way. It's not just, oh, we're carefree, young, wild, like, no, now we have lives. Like, some of my friends are married, some of my friends live abroad. Some of my friends live in different states. Like, I know I live in a different state. We just have different things going on in our lives. Some of us are losing parents. Some of us are sick. Like, it's just like, yes, we're friends, but because we are friends, we have to take care of each other in different ways now as adults. So I just wanted to give that little background of who I am as a person, because a lot of times I find myself just jumping into a friendship where it's like, I don't think I give myself time enough to realize who people are and where they stand with me. I automatically think friend. And it's like, relax, just hold on before we go label them anything, because that's what I like making new friends. I like meeting new people, but as an adult now, I'm in my 30s, I'm a bit more wary of who I let around me now and who I want to spend more time with and things like that, because you're exchanging your energy and it's different. It's real different. So yeah, because of how I viewed friendship, I realized, because I never had large groups, I just value the friendship more, like I said earlier. So they mean a lot to me, especially women, relationships that I have with women. A good girlfriend means a lot to me, especially as I'm getting older. Like, you know, women go through stages of life that men don't. And sometimes, okay, our clocks are ticking, and our clocks could be ticking when it comes to having children, marriage, home ownership, just different stages of our life. Our bodies are changing for real, and it's just nice to be able to relate to another woman, and in the same breath having an experience while we share those like moments with each other, whether it's, you know, going on a girl lunch date or shopping, or like, oh, let's do an adult sleepover, or things like that. I know I'm that friend, like, okay, that's like the creative friend who will create the experience for us. All we gotta do is show up, or what have you. And so it means a lot to me, because again, because I don't have that many, and because I'm putting value into your life and my life, I'm having around the people that I love the most, my family, as I go through more stages in life, as I get married, or if I have children. I trust you to be around me and around those other people too. So that's why I think now my perspectives are starting to change, and I gotta take a longer look into people and what they really mean to me, and if I mean that much to them. And that's just how it has to be. It doesn't have to just be, oh my God, they don't like me like that. No, they like you. They just don't like you like that. You know what I mean? So I don't know if I'm making sense, but I'm just trying to give you guys like insight on where I am right now in my life. And with that being said, I now know like I have to place different people in different categories. Friendships usually come, there's 3 different types. There's a friendship of utility. These are the friends that, I don't know, you might have a work bestie, or you might just have that neighbor who's just, you know, they started off walking your dog and they're able to give you some advice on certain things, or you guys can go grab a quick cup of coffee and it's just like, all right, see you, like, or you know, the receptionist, I don't know, at your doctor's office, and you'll see each other from time to time, like those light surface friends. Like, yeah, you call them friends, but it's just like, you know where they stand, like they help you in a certain way and you help them in a certain way, and it's just that. And again, at my big age, I had to realize, like, girl, you can't invite them to the barbecue this weekend with your family. Like, relax. Like, they're nice people, and that's also what makes life beautiful. You experience different people for a short amount of time or a long amount of time, but it's just like, that's just who they are. Friends of utility. And then you have friends of pleasure. Maybe like, and I'm not talking about like friends with benefits, which I think could also be placed under that, but these are the friends like your going out friend. Like, yeah, I could call Michelle for going, because she loves to have a good time. She loves to go to brunch, she loves to turn up, blah blah blah, but she's not necessarily like, oh yeah, just come over so we can watch some movies and be quiet together. Like, you know, when you're with her, it's for a purpose and it's a good time in that moment. Like, you can experience them for that moment and what they serve that for. Not necessarily, okay, yeah, let me call her and give her a good cry. Like, I gotta realize those are some of the friends that I have now. Like, some of those friends are just for that purpose. And then we have friends of just good character. These are the friendships that probably take more time. They're the friends that, like I said earlier, you've known them since childhood. You guys realize you guys literally have the same interests. You guys think the same. You want to like tell them everything. And these are the friends that are higher maintenance. Sometimes they're higher maintenance, and sometimes they're going to require the most work. These are the friendships that you had to put the most work in and maintain in your adulthood. And I realize that now that I am in my 30s. Because we change so often. We change every 6 months, every 6 years. Sometimes people are changing every month or throughout the week. So we have to realize who these people are in our life, and if we value them like they value us, then the work is worth it. And we're gonna get into what that work means. But like, I guess long story short, because I feel like those 3 different categories, some people have different terms for them also, like, oh, just a comrade, an associate, things like that. Just don't let anything go over your head. And I'm trying like to let anything go over mine, but like, there's different terms for all of the things that I'm saying. But like, your actual friends and your adulthood are going to require more work. And that work looks like, I split it up in 4. Setting boundaries for one. Now that we're older, some of us have different relationships with other people. We're in different stages of our life. If we're in school, if we're working, or if we're just going through a season, and you vocalize that, that also goes with being in good communication as number 2, if you want to. I'm not really ranking them, but number 2 is good communication. And you vocalize that with the people that are around you, that you call your friends, and letting them know, hey, like, I love you, but right now I'm going through something, and sometimes that requires a space. Sometimes I need you to acknowledge that I am going through something, and let me go through this thing. Yes, you could be a friend like me. Sometimes I know I can be very overbearing, and I just want to like almost be like a fairy godmother and fix it for you, or just have you come to me. But sometimes some people just don't want to talk to you about it. Just know that I'm going through something. Let me be in your thoughts, pray for me, things of that nature. But sometimes some of these friendships require space and understanding, and we just have to accept that. And I think within that work requires self-care, taking care of yourself. So the friends who are going through things, or if you're going through something, I think a lot has been said about healing our inner child lately throughout social media, and healing our past. That's real. Not just in your family relationships, not just in your marriages and like your boyfriend girlfriend relationships, things like that. It's really in friendships too. How you cope with communicating with others and problem solving, and knowing your triggers, knowing that for yourself is going to help you within your friendships. That's so important. Taking care of yourself. So if you need time to, like I said, take the space that you need from your friends and work on yourself, that's part of the work too. And then when you do work on yourself, and you know, like, you feel and you heal from something. Sometimes some of us have gone to therapy, or we do certain things for therapy, and we've done the work. So you're bringing your full, whole, healed self to a friendship, but knowing that that friend is not there yet, and they're not respecting any of those, all the work that you did on yourself to bring to the table, that's something to say too. That's something to consider when maintaining these friendships. Because if I'm here communicating my feelings, if I'm here clearly communicating my boundaries, what I need, what I acquire in this friendship, and then it's not being received well, that's something to say. And I think now that I'm there, I feel like now, am I perfect? No. But I do know what hurts my feelings. I do know what I don't want to put up with. I do know what I don't want to be around often. Or I know when I can, like, there are certain people that I can take in doses now and things like that. I'm very aware of that. And right now, what means the most to me are my family, loved ones, and my true friendships. And if it's not that, it's like, okay, still love you, but I gotta leave from a distance. And I just have to be careful of who I'm letting in for the future. So now I'm in this weird stage where it's like, okay, I want to meet more women who are kind of doing the same thing that I'm doing. I watch tons and tons of vlogs and I study the craft of content creating, and I'm just watching different women who have very supportive friends. Some of them are small, some of them are big. I'm just like, I want that. Like, I want my girlfriend who I can do a content day with. I want my girlfriend who we could just like vent to each other and have a great, like, some drinks at the water park or whatever, not the water park, but the waterfront or whatever. I want to be able to experience those relationships, those kind of friendships. So I'm just trying to take in all of this into consideration and remember where I've come from and what I've healed from, and apply that into meeting new people. It's scary to just be like, hey girl, like, I think just last week there's someone I work with, but we also had the same alma mater, and I was just like, I want to be your friend, like, I want to hang out with you. Like, and she was like, oh, I thought we were already, like, in her head she was like, because we worked together, and she's like, I thought we were already friends, but cool. And I'm like, did you? Because I just thought, you know, the girl I work with and we speak sometimes. So it's like just being more courageous. I'm in that season of just understanding the different types of relationships there are and friendships there are, and being more open to meeting other women as friends, and just taking my time and letting them, and like feeling them out to see where I can place them where I am now in my life. Like, do I see you as like the girlfriend I met in my 30s, and here we are 65 going on cruises and stuff? Like, who are you? So I just wanted to share that that's where I'm at right now, the season I'm in. If you can relate, you can definitely comment down below. I hope I made sense with all of this blabber jabber. But yeah, like, I think friendships are so important, and when you're an adult, they tend to be a little harder. Some of them are harder to work on, some of them are harder to let go of, and it's just, I've learned that it's nothing new. People are going through the same thing as me, and it can be scary, but it's also exciting because you're meeting other people. So that's that. I'm not gonna keep repeating myself, but before we go, don't forget to comment down below, share across all your streaming platforms, notification bells on so you know when Ambernet Store is coming to your door, and of course subscribe to my channel. Become a neighbor is totally free. I feel like if you're gonna do this one, subscribe. Like, the button's right there. It takes a second. But thank you guys so much for tuning in this week. I can't wait to see you again. Bye.
Just like you will come through and chill.